Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are jumping right into something really getting a lot of attention in the creative space. Unreal Engine 5.6.
Yeah, definitely making waves.
And from everything we've seen, this isn't, just a small patch. It feels like a pretty significant step up for creators, for developers, really pushing things.
Absolutely. It looks set to change how people build, well, everything.
So our mission here is to really pull apart the key updates in this release, figure out what these new features actually are, and maybe more importantly, why they matter for you if you're looking to build bigger worlds, work faster, and just hit that next level of performance and realism. And all the insights we're sharing, they come from our look at this one really comprehensive source called Unreal Engine 5.6, A Leap in Creation.
It's a really solid overview. And yeah, the update, it genuinely promises to reshape workflows, allow for, well, bigger dreams, you could say, for digital artists.
Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with something huge, literally. Open worlds.
Yeah.
Vast immersive experiences.
The holy grail for many.
Right. And the source makes a pretty bold claim here. Unreal Engine 5.6 is aiming for 60 FPS open worlds. And not just that, but running smoothly on current-gen hardware.
Yeah, that's a big number to promise.
It sounds like a massive leap. So how does it actually pull off that kind of performance with these huge, detailed environments?
Well, okay, that gets to the core improvements, foundational stuff, really. A big part of it is these significant hardware ray tracing enhancements.
Okay, ray tracing.
Exactly. And for anyone pushing visuals, these improvements give a really substantial boost to Lumen, Lumen Global Illumination.
Right, the lighting system.
Yeah. Basically, it simulates how light bounces everywhere in your scene. Super realistic, natural light. And with these 5.6 updates, you can light up these incredibly detailed, huge environments, well, more efficiently, without completely tanking your performance, which is always the trade-off.
So better lighting, more detail, but it still runs well.
That's the goal, illuminating these richly detailed environments without that performance hit.
That makes sense for the visuals, the sheer look of it. But what about just moving through these massive worlds? You need that to feel smooth, right? Not like textures popping in late or stuttering. Does 5.6 help there?
Oh, absolutely. That seamless experience is crucial. So the engine now has faster geometry streaming.
Geometry streaming, we name.
It means it loads the world's data, the shapes and structures, much more quickly and smoothly as you move through it. For these massive static worlds, it just flows better. So if you connect that back to your experience as the creator or the player, you get smoother loading plus that better lighting we talked about. It feels more, well, cohesive, uninterrupted, just more real.
Makes those huge worlds feel less like levels loading and more like actual places.
Exactly. And easier for you to build and optimize too. Big win.
Okay, so worlds are bigger and smoother. Now, bringing things to life in those worlds. Animation, characters, objects.
Yeah, always a complex area.
The notes we reviewed say animation workflows have been significantly improved. Now, for anyone who's spent hours tweaking keyframes, that sounds like, well, amazing news. What tools specifically got an overhaul?
They've really dug into this, yeah. Focused on making it more intuitive, more precise for the artists. So you've got redesigned motion trails, better visual feedback on movement, revamped tween tools for making those quick, precise adjustments, and a completely redesigned curve editor, which is, fundamental.
Your curve editor, right. That's where so much time is spent.
Exactly. So overhauling these core tools means you can fine-tune animations much faster, much more accurately. It saves you, serious time in that iteration loop, less fighting the tools, more animating.
And it sounds like it's not just about working faster, but also hitting a higher quality bar. The source mentions this ambition for unmatched realism in character animation.
That's the other side of the coin.
How does 5.6 help deliver that? Is it getting closer to directing a performance instead of just setting keyframes?
That's actually a really good way to think about it. For that next level of realism, they've introduced this new physics control rig.
Physics control.
Yeah, it's designed to give your characters and objects incredibly lifelike movement. Think about how, a character naturally reacts to gravity, to bumps, impacts, walking on uneven ground.
Subtle stuff, but it makes a huge difference.
Right. This tool lets you achieve that kind of dynamic, believable motion without needing to manually keyframe every tiny reaction. It opens up huge possibilities for character believability.
So the physics helps drive the animation more naturally.
Exactly. You can focus more on the core performance, the acting, rather than the tiny mechanical details of every joint movement. This could be, well, a game changer, especially for smaller teams trying to get that high-fidelity character work without, a massive animation department.
Makes sense. So, okay, we've got better animation tools, more realistic movement. But what about getting the characters into the engine in the first place?
Ah, yes. The creation pipeline.
Our source highlights something pretty big here. Metahuman Creator is now apparently embedded directly into Unreal Engine 5.6.
That is huge news, yeah.
That sounds like it could massively streamline putting realistic people into your worlds. What are the actual benefits of having it right inside the engine?
It's really all about integration, efficiency, and accessibility. So now, right inside Unreal Editor, you have these new features for actually authoring high-fidelity faces, bodies, clothing.
Wow, right there, not a separate app.
Right there. It fundamentally streamlines that whole process, creating realistic humans. It saves you so much time and effort, that back and forth exporting, importing.
Yeah, the round tripping. That can eat up so much time.
Exactly. So this just cuts a lot of that out. And it kind of raises an interesting question for creators, doesn't it? Like, if making high-quality, really realistic characters becomes this much easier, this accessible, what kind of new stories, what diverse characters can you now bring to life? Especially if maybe character creation was a major bottleneck for you before. It really feels like it's democratizing that hyper-realistic character design.
That's a fantastic point. Making that level of quality available to more people, it sounds like there's a real focus not just on, raw power, but also on the practical side, the workflow.
Definitely. You need both.
So what does this all mean for just the day-to-day grind? Beyond the flashy stuff, workflow efficiency is king, right? The content browser, for example, that's been redesigned. What's better there?
Yeah, the content browser got a significant update. It now offers faster and smarter asset management workflows. Just finding and organizing your stuff is quicker.
Always welcome.
And you also get instant access to key tools right from the viewport's toolbar. Little things, but they add up.
How does that translate into actual time saved, less clicking around?
Exactly. Less searching, less navigating through menus, more time actually creating. It's all about reducing that friction, making the process smoother.
And what about for creators using more complex stuff, like procedural content generation, PCG? That can get pretty heavy.
Right. PCG is powerful for building huge worlds automatically based on rules you set. And yeah, managing that can be complex.
So any improvements there?
Yes. You can now preview those PCG elements in real time, right in the new 3D viewport.
Oh, nice. See it as you build it.
Exactly. Huge for iteration. See what your rules are actually doing instantly. Plus, there's smoother, more efficient GPU spawning at runtime.
Meaning the stuff generated by PCG appears more smoothly in the actual game or experience.
Correct. Less pop-in, better performance when that content is generated live. It all adds up to a much more fluid, efficient development process. You can iterate faster, see results immediately, and handle these really massive, complex worlds with, greater ease. Less waiting for compiles, less guesswork.
It really sounds like Unreal Engine 5.6 is hitting on multiple fronts then. Power and practicality.
That's a good way to put it.
We've touched on enhanced open-world performance, that 60 FPS goal. The revamped animation tools, making things more intuitive and realistic. That integrated Metahuman Creator, a huge workflow boost for characters. And these crucial asset management and PCG improvements for day-to-day efficiency.
Covers a lot of ground.
It really does. And based on all this, that claim in our source that 5.6 is a game changer for developers and creators, it feels pretty well supported, doesn't it?
I'd say so, yeah. These features, especially when you look at them together, they really empower creators.
Yeah.
Build bigger stuff, build it faster, and hit a level of, visual fidelity and performance that was maybe out of reach before.
Yeah.
And what's truly compelling here, perhaps, is to think about how advancements like this, like Unreal Engine 5.6, they aren't just changing how we build digital worlds. They're actually expanding the boundaries of what's even possible. Creative expression, interactive storytelling, as these tools get more powerful, but also more accessible, like we talked about with Metahuman, you have to wonder, what new kinds of digital art, what new entertainment, maybe even simulations, what will you be able to create? Things that really start to blur the lines between the digital and the real. It feels like a really transformative moment for digital experiences, something to really think about.